I'm here with former Indiana Senator and former U.S. Ambassador to the Vatican, Joe Donnelly. So curious to get your thoughts on this news as a former senator from Northern Indiana to see, and a former ambassador to the Vatican to see a Chicago-born American Pope for the first time in history. What are your thoughts today?
Well, my first thought was, is he a Cubs fan or a White Sox fan? But I know he's from the south side of Chicago, so I know he's a White Sox fan. But I was thrilled that an American who, if he wasn't an American, probably would have been the favorite in this conclave going in to become the next pope. And there was a thought, well, that may be enough to hold him back. But the other cardinals looked at him as a global figure because he was, as they said, the least American of the Americans. And what I mean by that is he spent many years in Peru, many years elsewhere, and so he wasn't so much just an American, but a global presence as well.
He's made some of his views known in the past. How do you think he will function as Pope? What will be his top priorities?
Well, when you heard him speak, he talked about standing up for the poor. And so I think those elements of Francis' papacy will be very strong in him. In addition, he said evil is not going to win. And what he meant by that, I think, is he'll be a strong presence on the international scene in terms of standing up for human rights, standing up for those who are struggling, for instance, like Ukraine, where their country is being attacked by Russia every day. I think he'll speak truth to power because truth is he's power too, and probably will be the most widely regarded moral voice in the world.
Will he be a transformational voice in the church and in this country? And what gives you hope about his election to be the new head of the Catholic Church?
I think he's common sense. He's a graduate of Villanova, grew up in the south side of Chicago. And so that's a place where you work hard, you do your best every day, and nothing fancy, just try to help others. And so I think that's the culture that he comes out of in his life. And I think that's what he'll reflect at the Vatican. He's a good manager, so he'll take good care of the Vatican itself. He is also on issues of doctrine. Some folks are more liberal, some folks are more conservative. And, what we find is that that's kind of a happy balance when you do that. And additionally, as I said, he cares about those who are in need. And so I think he'll be a wonderful Pope.
And in terms of your time at the Vatican and talking with a lot of people who are there at the head of the Catholic Church, what other reflections do you have about him personally as he makes this journey now to become the new Pope?
Sure, he's humble. Always drove around in a little car. You look and you go, man, if I was in the back seat, I don't know where I'd put my legs. But he's a humble person who always looked out for everybody else first, and he put himself second, and so he will be somebody that will reflect that in his papacy too.
People often think about politics this day and age. Do you think he'll clash with the administration in the White House now? As cardinal, he did at times weigh in with some of his views on immigration, and at times seemed to clash with Vice President Vance on some of those topics. Do you think he'll clash with this new administration at times?
I think he'll stand true to what he believes. And so it's not that he would be looking to have a clash with the administration. I think he'd love to have a good relationship, but he won't back down on his core principles, because his core principles in his mind, those are the principles of Jesus Christ, that we look out for the stranger, that we help one another. And so that's who he's going to be.
Senator Joe Donnelly, former ambassador to the Vatican, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us today. We really appreciate it on this very historic day. Thanks again.
It is a really historic day, one that most of us never thought would happen.
Thank you again. We really appreciate it.
Thanks.